In today's Sunday microscopy, I was just observing my water sample and I noticed that there was a mosquito which was dead and floating on that water sample. So I decided to put it under observation and I found some interesting events happening there. So, first, I'll bring you to the mosquito. Here it is, the mosquito's head, its wings, the thorax, the abdomen, and its various appendages. Now, prima facie, there doesn't seem to be any much event happening other than some ciliates. We shall definitely zoom in a bit. But then I came across a variety of microorganisms, and one of them was quite fascinating given its size. So now we go to a degree of zoom so that we can appreciate with a little bit clarity what exactly is transpiring upon this slide. So first we go towards the antenna because the antenna are highly under decaying. We see a lot of clustering of bacteria, and this was the organism that I'm talking about, this bigger one. This bigger one. We'll quickly zoom to a higher magnification. This one. Quite prominently moving around. What did I do? I shook the camera. Okay, we're back on track. Even the slide seems to have moved a bit. So we go back to this bigger one, bigger ciliate. It's very fascinating in its structure, and we'll try to get him in focus. This one. It has very prominent appendages, cilia coming out from one particular part of the cell, and its movement is very smooth. Body inclusions have a lot of vesicles. A large contractile vacuole, a big pharynx is very clear in the body, and it flips over. It's like a saddle, shaped like a saddle, and despite its slow movements, its ciliary functions are remarkable. I'll clean the lens once. Done. Well, we must realize that since there is a mosquito lying trapped between the micro slip and the micro slide and the cover glass, hence there is a degree of focal planes between the two, and hence it becomes a little difficult to keep a constant focus on all the events happening here. And that's why this particular organism, which is quite fascinating, sometimes gets out of focus. And following it on is a little tricky also. Okay, so we go to some other organisms. We'll focus on some other part of the slide. And this is the antenna. Quite an activity happening around here as well. Now, since we are in the abdominal part, which contains a lot of organic matter, hence we see more ciliates accumulating in this area. Their concentration is much more in this particular segment of the slide because it is in more proximation with the abdominal part. Go back to a lower magnification and then we'll come to the there's a lot of ciliates here. Go to higher magnification on this plant. These little feathery leaf-like structures are the parts which are the uh, ornaments on the mosquito's wings. They give it a flight, a kind of noiseless flight, or rather, these are the reasons for its sound of when it's flying, the zoom kind of sound that we hear. and they also give it a higher degree of resistance in the air when it is flying. So these ciliates are rather feeding on the decaying matter. This particular section is a little dizzy to focus upon because there's a high constant activity around. There were a few rotifers also on the wings. If we go there, I had noticed a rotifer on the wings. Let me bring that in focus. And there are a lot of bacteria in the background. Let me try to grab a view of that. I believe you can see those bacteria, those black lines. There are more here. So a lot of bacteria, and they all seem to be spiral or rods. A lot of bacteria, lot of bacteria. We can expect that because it's a decaying matter and they are quite prominent. So we'll try to get back to the mosquito and I'll try to find that rotifer which was on its wings. Not on this one. Maybe it has moved to some other location. We'll try on the other side. It has probably moved elsewhere. No, it's gone. It's no longer here. It's gone. Meanwhile, let's appreciate the architecture of the wings. This is the mosquito's wing from a very high magnification, and it is undergoing a sort of a decay done by those ciliates and other microorganisms. This larger one is quite fascinating. can get a view of its moving cilia. Shaped like a saddle, it is in constant movement. Maybe I can just get it on a 40x magnification. I'll try. Here we go. Too fast. Here's one in the process of reproduction. Here is a pair. So the food is quite nutritious and plenty for them, so much so that they prefer reproducing. Alright, so I think that will be all for the day, and I'll cut away now and see some other sample which could be of some interest further. Thank you for joining me. Take care, people. Over and out.